This presentation is the fourth and final part of the 6th chapter of Awake Bride. The destruction of Jerusalem and its temple is the focus. Daniel 9:24-27. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city, to finish the transgression and to make an end of sins, and to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, and to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublous times. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the Prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease, and for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. But there was no war during Jesus' ministry, so what was this passage referring to? Luke 21:20-24 and 32. And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is near. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the middle of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe to them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath on this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Truly I say to you, this generation shall not pass away, till all be fulfilled. Matthew 23:32-39. Fill you up then the measure of your fathers, you serpents, you generation of vipers. How can you escape the damnation of hell? Why, behold, I send to you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them you shall kill and crucify, and some of them you shall whip in your synagogues and persecute them from city to city, that on you may come all the righteous blood shed on the earth, from the blood of righteous Abel to the blood of Zacharias son of Barachias, whom you slew between the temple and the altar. Truly I say to you, all these things shall come on this generation. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you that kill the prophets, and stone them which are sent to you, how often would I have gathered your children together, even as a hen gathers her chickens under her wings, and you would not. Behold, your house is left to you desolate. For I say to you, you shall not see me from now on, till you shall say, Blessed is he that comes in the name of the Lord. Remember, a generation is 40 years. So within 40 years their house, the temple, was going to be destroyed. All these things is a phrase Jesus will use again to reference the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem. Not until all of the 70 weeks prophecy had been fulfilled. The Jewish revolt began in 66 AD, but it escalated to a war in the next year. The last half of the 70th week is from March 67, when Vespasian's troops fought against the Judeans in Galilee, until the temple's destruction in August of 70 AD. Thus a gap of a generation separates the 70th week. 1 Peter 4:12-19. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened to you. But rejoice inasmuch as you are partakers of Christ's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, you may be glad also with exceeding joy. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God? And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Why, let them that suffer according to the will of God commit the keeping of their souls to him in well-doing, as to a faithful Creator. Peter's phrase, house of God, refers to the fellowship of believers, but he might also be alluding to Ezekiel 9:6, where God commanded the destroyers to begin at my sanctuary. In 64 AD, fire broke out in Rome, and Nero blamed the Christians and began persecuting and feeding them to the dogs. In 66 AD, Peter and Paul were writing and sending letters and warning of destruction before their deaths in 67 AD. The Jewish rebellion begins and ends at Masada. In August of 66 AD, Jewish revolutionaries overtook the Roman garrison of Masada on the Dead Sea. In 73 AD, the Jews decided to commit suicide during the Roman siege rather than to be captured. But most major battles were fought throughout Israel, far from Masada. Roman General Gallus is defeated by the Jews in Jerusalem in November of 66, and they leave weaponry. Hearing this, Nero recommissions Vespasian, who takes 2 legions by land in spring, and his son Titus meets him with a legion in winter of 67. With 60,000 troops they begin their assault on the Jews in Galilee. John of Gischala and Joseph skirmished with these Roman troops sent to squash them. Joseph wrote how all the trees were cut down in Judea during the siege of Jerusalem and how it became a desolate desert. Joseph and his fellow commanders John and Justus prepare provisions and weapons in the Galilee region in December 66. Joseph is left in sole command and began fortifications in January 67 and completed them by March. He fought against Vespasian's troops in Galilee, but Joseph was captured at Jotapata after a siege of 47 days. Joseph predicted that Vespasian would become emperor. He was not believed and spent the next 2 years in chains in the Roman camp, during which time he began to write about the war. After 4 emperors died in quick succession, and Vespasian became emperor himself, Joseph was freed and adopted into Vespasian's family, the Flavians, and so became Flavius Josephus. The writings of Josephus have given us much of what we know of first-century Israel. Paul the Apostle was imprisoned in Caesarea from 60 to 62 AD. Vespasian established his base camp there in 67 AD after capturing the city of Jotapata. The bust of Vespasian is as a younger man. The coin of him was struck in 71 for the victory over Jerusalem and depicts him as an older man. Vespasian became emperor in 69 and returned to Rome, thus leaving his son Titus to complete the conquest. The reverse of the coin states Iudaea capta, Judah captured. Matthew 24:2-3 and 33 and 34. And Jesus said to them, See you not all these things? Truly I say to you, there shall not be left here one stone on another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of your coming and of the end of the world? So likewise you, when you shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Truly I say to you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. The disciples had shown Jesus the temple, and Jesus said that the temple would not have one stone left on another. The temple was destroyed on the 9th of Av, a day of mourning, the same day Nebuchadnezzar burned down the first temple. Daniel 9:26. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined. Titus led 4 legions against Jerusalem, the 5th, the 10th, the 12th, and the 15th. The 5th was composed of Greeks from Bulgaria and Romania. The 10th was composed of Syrians based in Jerusalem. The 12th and 15th legions were composed of Syrians based in Turkey. The prince that shall come will be of Syrian descent. Jesus prophesied how the rest of the 70 weeks would be fulfilled to that generation. We are not to look for a 7-year treaty in which peace is cut off midway. Jesus was our covenant cut off for us. Jesus' first coming incorporated periods of 7 to complete the punishment of sin and usher in everlasting righteousness. His second coming will have similarities, but there won't be a 7-year period of tribulation. Jesus fulfilled the 70th week, and he promised the Great Tribulation would be shortened.